Have you ever had massive ambitions to make something great of yourself, but yet every time you sit down to do the work that will move you toward your goals, you end up mindlessly scrolling or finding some random task to complete? That used to be me as well, but this one concept helped me go from being a chronic procrastinator and never achieving anything to building a six-figure business, winning a British weightlifting championship, and getting more done in one day than most people get done in a week overnight. So in this video, I'll show you how this one concept makes procrastination impossible and give you a step-by-step plan to implementing it yourself. But it all starts with you understanding why you put off the work in the first place, because if you don't understand this, you'll not be able to beat procrastination. Imagine you're a lone soldier on the front lines of a battlefield. Every day you wake up and you troop across the land to fight the enemy, another lone soldier. You spend the entire day fighting back and forth equally, neither of you making any progress. Come nightfall, you both agree to march back to your camp and only to repeat the battle again until one of you gives up. Well, this battle isn't just some scene from your imagination. This is a battle that happens every single day. Only it's not between two lone soldiers on a battlefield, it's between the person that you could be and your current self. And it's not happening on some land far away, it's happening in your head right now. Each time you sit down to do the task that you know you need to do, your old self peeks his head out of a trench and fires a shot right at you, stopping you from doing the thing you know you need to do. You see, for you to make progress toward your goals, you have to do the work. But that work is you gaining ground on the battlefield, putting your old self under pressure. And so your old self fights back and creates what's called resistance in an effort to stop you from doing the work and gaining ground. This resistance is what causes you to procrastinate. And so if you want to beat procrastination, you have to help the person you could be overcome resistance and beat your old self. You have to pummel that wee bitch into a pulp. But of course, it won't be easy. Your old self is a strong and formidable opponent. However, the person that you could be is even more powerful. And so if you want to beat resistance and stop procrastinating, there's two things you need to do. The first is to scout out the enemy. You see, your old self doesn't just post up and stay in one spot on the battlefield. That'd be stupid. They're creative and they're smart and they know all your weak points and where to attack. After all, they're you. And so for you to beat them, you need to scout them out. See the angles from which they attack and identify how they create resistance in your life. You see, resistance can take countless forms. If you procrastinate, that's resistance. If you have self-doubt, that's resistance. If you think you need to spend more time learning, that's resistance. Anything and everything that stops you from sitting down and doing the damn work that you know you need to do is your old self fighting against the person that you could be. You see, resistance is the problem. How it manifests is the symptom, and a lot of people are able to recognize their symptom of resistance, and so they go and try all these techniques and hacks to beat it, but this is like blocking one line of attack from your old self. They'll just sneak around the back and find another way to attack you from where you least expect it. When you only fix the symptom, you don't fix the problem. And so if you procrastinate, that is a symptom of resistance. And so to beat procrastination, you don't need a hack or a trick to stop procrastinating. You need to fix the problem and beat resistance. But to do that, you need to identify the lines of attack your old self has. The way to do this is super simple. Take 10 minutes and write about 10 things you do instead of doing the work that you know you need to do. Maybe you pick up your phone and scroll. Maybe you find a random, unimportant and easy task to do instead. Maybe you watch YouTube under the mask of learning. Write down 10 ways that resistance takes shape in your life. Because here's the thing. You cannot make a change if you're ignorant to what needs changed. If you don't know what your enemy looks like, you can't be prepared for them to attack. So simply by acknowledging and recognizing how you experience resistance, you're now aware of what to look out for. And it means anytime you go to do any of those 10 things, you'll realize, hey, this is resistance, and then you can use this next step to beat it. So remember how you're fighting this battle between your old self and who you could be? Well, your old self is a crafty little bugger. You see, your old self is all alone on that battlefield and the only weapon they have is a paintball gun. And because they're weak and they know you could beat them, they've made all these fancy tools to make it look as if there's 100 of them with machine guns scattered all across the battlefield. It means when you pop your head out to see where they are, it looks intimidating as fuck. It looks impossible to beat them and as if it's going to be a massive challenge. Now, with that in mind, think about the tasks you actually have to do to scale your business and achieve your goals. Each time you sit down to work in them, it feels hard and challenging and every bone in your body doesn't want to do it. But when you actually think about it, the work you have to do isn't that hard. You know, you're not actually out on a battlefield waging war against your old self. You're sitting at a desk thinking and typing. It's not actually that hard. But yet, we think the work is this impossible, insurmountable task simply because our old self creates resistance and tricks our mind into thinking it's hard. That is why this third step is so damn powerful. Since you're now able to recognize resistance and your procrastination, when you go to do any of those 10 things you identified, you can recognize that you're facing resistance, and then you do this. You break the task that you have to do down into the actual literal thing you have to do. If you have to record a YouTube video, you're just talking to a camera. If you have to send cold emails, you're just finding emails and hitting a few keys on your keyboard. You break down the task, realizing it's not that hard, and the only reason you think it's hard is because your mind tricks you into thinking it is. And because you've now recognized resistance and realized, hey, this is just my old self trying to stop me from improving, you can realize the work isn't hard. Stop procrastinating and do it. But remember, your old self is crafty. That paintball gun that they have, well, it doesn't fire paintballs because otherwise you'd be covered in paint right now. Instead, it fires something much, much worse. And unless you follow step 4, none of this is going to work over the long term. And so step 4 is how you beat resistance and procrastination forever, and it involves you making a deal. The ammunition of your old self isn't paint. It's disrespect. Now let me explain. Your old self will fire rounds at you in an effort to make you do things that disrespect yourself. Mindless behaviors, bad habits, vices. Because when you disrespect something, you don't value it. So if you disrespect yourself, you don't value yourself. If you don't value yourself, you don't care about the potential impact that your actions could have. And so you're going to mindlessly scroll TikTok, procrastinate, and spend all day eating Oreos and pizza. But when you do things that are bad for you, you disrespect yourself even more, and it creates this downward spiral of you not doing the damn work and giving into resistance every single time. Remember, your old self knows you and your weak points, and knows that you love to lie in bed and stuff your face with cake instead of working on your offer. And so it will tempt you with your vices in an effort to get you to disrespect yourself and let it win. But the solution is for you to make a deal. Now, not with your old self, because we don't barter with terrorists. Instead, you need to make a deal with the person that you could be right now. You see, in every moment, you have a choice. You either give in to your old self and let them gain some ground, or you lean into the person you could be and give them some ground. The problem is that we always think we can lean into the person you could be later. We procrastinate and we think, yeah, my future self, me tomorrow, will do the right thing, beat resistance and do the work. But what we don't realize is that there is no future you. There is only you right now. The version of you that you imagine you'll be tomorrow doesn't fucking exist, because you'll wake up and you'll still be you. And so the deal you have to make is that you will do what the person you could be would do right now. You don't put it off for the future you to do, because all that does is let your old self win and hit you with one of those paintballs of disrespect and makes you even less likely to do the damn thing. Realize that when it comes to taking action, beating resistance, overcoming procrastination, there is no tomorrow. There's only now, and you need to make a deal with yourself to act how you know you should, to be the person that you could be. And instead of you tomorrow waking up and cursing yourself for not doing the work, you will wake up tomorrow proud and fulfilled and with self-respect. That self-respect means you value your actions, and in turn you value the impact that they could have, and you're much more likely to do the right thing, creating an upward positive cycle that destroys resistance and procrastination forever. But a crucial part of beating procrastination is that you have clarity on the work that needs done and when it needs done. So to get that clarity and put the final nail in your coffin of your procrastination, you need to watch this video here.